Hi, Miamisburg teachers. I'm Jennifer Damon. I teach 4th grade at Mark Twain Elementary, and I have 5 good minutes to tell you about something that I used last year for the first time that I found very powerful on a host of levels. And that is restorative practices. Jason Curry and I went to a 2-day OEA workshop last summer on restorative practices, which is all about building connections to change behaviors, repair relationships, and improve results. As implied by its name, International Institute of Restorative Practices is practiced worldwide. It's used in criminal justice circles, it's used in social service circles, and it's used in educational settings. It's vast and wide and deeply researched. So I will put some links in below, so if you're interested in learning more, you can. But here's a great statement that kind of sums up the purpose and the philosophy of international restorative practices. All humans are hardwired to connect. Just as we need food, shelter, and clothing, human beings also need strong and meaningful relationships to thrive. Restorative practices is an emerging social science that studies how to build and repair relationships between individuals, as well as social connections within communities. Well, I think best practice educators know that building community is an important part of effective education. And so my hugest takeaway from this 2-day workshop, the thing that I could employ immediately in my classroom, was to circle up. So the first tier, or the beginning of the continuum of restorative practices, is building relationships. And you can see these 4 things: speak from the heart, listen carefully, ask open-ended questions, and with the rest of my time, I want to talk about circling up. I kind of sum this up as what I would call just a humanizing pedagogy, and summed up beautifully in Oprah Winfrey's words: I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters. So I want to spend the rest of the time talking about what circles look like in my classroom and why I found it so advantageous for the time that it took. We would meet once a week in a circle. The beauty of we would move the chairs and the tables out of the way. The beauty of a circle is that there's not one person in front of everybody else. Everybody's on an equal playing field. Everybody's making eye contact with everybody. And there's something that just innately builds community in that alone. Each person would get the chance to speak. We would go in a circle, and before COVID, we had a speaking piece. I think we need to revisit that. But when the speaker speaks, the protocol is all eyes are on the speaker. And when you are speaking, you are making eye contact with everyone around the room. I'm going to talk about number 4 in a minute, a little more detail. But number 5, you had the option to, or I, in my classroom, had a board where students had the option to bring in something that was reflective of their culture or their family or their personality, maybe a little trinket, maybe a medal, maybe a photograph, maybe a quote, maybe something they colored. And that was just a neat way for the kids to be empowered and feel like they had voice in the circle. Now I want to go back to number 4 and tell you the 2 things that we would do. First, a weather check-in, and second, a content-related question. For instance, the weather question you would answer: you feel sunny, cloudy, stormy, maybe even a tornado today. So I feel sunny because it's my birthday tomorrow, or I'm cloudy because I forgot my lunch, but mom remembered it, and so it's going to be an okay day. Or I'm stormy because I feel sick or my pet died. The beauty of that was that students got to know each other in a way that they wouldn't necessarily as an entire class. I felt like it was powerful in building empathy, in building community, and also for students to articulate their own emotions, part of the SEL standards and a powerful tool in life. One of my favorite stories about circle, though, is related to a content question. Content questions could be anything from: what did you find most difficult about that writing process, to what are your reading goals for this month? or did you meet your reading goal? Why or why not? So students are learning from one another's struggles and triumphs. And one of my favorite stories is about a little boy who did have some focus issues. And the question of the day was, what strategies do you use in taking the MAP test? And he said, I think of it like a video game, something I want to beat. So he came to it with a competitive mind frame. That's nothing I would have ever thought of, but it really, really resonated with the kids. So that was super cool. So to summarize, I think that when would you use restorative practices or circles in your classroom, or why? Because it addresses speaking and listening standards, it addresses SEL standards, it's community building through empathy and trust. It gives opportunity for students to learn positive and supportive communication skills. It absolutely supports PBIS. And you can use it to set goals for a new year. You can use it to introduce a new concept you're teaching. You can use it to share successful strategies before and after testing. So it's a powerful tool. I felt like it was really very useful, and I will use it again. Finally, I know I'm past my time. Whoop, I'm moving again. There I go. Ah. Sorry guys, I'm not professional yet. When would you use this? I think we've talked about that, but as we look forward, we know that we don't know what the year is going to look like, and I feel like it's going to be more important than ever that students understand that we see them, we hear them, and what they say matters. So we did use circles in our Google Meets last spring. I think you could do it with Google Classroom by posting a question that all the students could respond to. We don't know what the year is going to hold, but we do know we must build relationships with all of these children, and circles give a great way to explicitly and systematically build all those important community elements and enhance students' learning. In the comments below, or the box, I will leave a slideshow that Jason and I prepared for Mark Twain PD Day we did last year. There is also a link to IIRP if you want to know more. I realize I'm at 7 minutes and 28 seconds. Sorry. But I want to say to you, I'm proud to be a teacher with y'all. We have an amazing district. I hope you found this helpful. And I hope you have a good year. Thanks for your time.